So I'm very happy to see that today's presentations actually relate to a wide range and a broad range of issues in climate change. It is, I think, kind of interesting and coincidental that the plenary conference of the African Economic Research Consortium this time is on climate change. It is going to be tomorrow. And I'm hoping that everyone will be there, and that I think it's going to be interesting because I think this is going to be very good input to the discussions that we'll have tomorrow. So let me conclude by really thanking the collective effort, that has gone into this project. One is, of course, the institutional partners, AERC, UNU, WITER, the resource people who are actually sitting on this side, and also you as researchers, and I also wish to special thanks to my colleague Innocent, and he's been taking leadership on the side of AERC for this project. So really my best wishes for fruitful deliberations, and this is my first official talk as AD of the AERC, and then so your session is open. Thank you.
We are recommending that the government should withdraw some subsidies on pre-mixed fuel. As we speak now, government is sending mixed signals all the time to fishermen. On one hand, we know catch per unit effort is declining, but government is still subsidizing fuel for fishing, subsidizing fishing vessels, even buying them sophisticated equipment, acoustic listeners to be able to catch more fish, which is unfortunate. So the subsidies is about 18% now, and what we have calculated is around 14%. So what we are recommending is if government can withdraw part of that subsidy, that should be fine. And then on the issue of significance, this is a semi-parametric method. We can do some kind of bootstrapping, but we have limited data, and then we try to look at the pseudo R squared based on this. And we actually did the bootstrapping. Yeah, I remember we did the bootstrapping, and we realized that they were statistically significant. But I didn't just present it here. And concerning the time, we just plotted a series over time. Just look at the trend. So what we estimated was not regressing the temperature on time, but just the plot of the temperature over time to give that indication that it is rising over time. And then with regards to the temperature, the intrinsic growth rate, yes, that's a very good point. I just came from a conference by fisheries economists. There are two ways. We can decide to say that the changing temperature is affecting intrinsic growth rate, or it is affecting the environmental carrying capacity of the stock. And from my discussions with them, and the fact that we cannot do both, they think that the carrying capacity argument is a much better argument to go with than the intrinsic growth rate argument.
The objective is this current paper, because from my survey, I think I'm even thinking of two papers, even up to 2 paper minimum, because of I have generated lots of data around that area. The first thing is we try to see pastoralist perception about climate change, and in terms of the temperature and changes or move in terms of temperature and rainfall, and then we try to see what are the determinants of this household special adaptation strategy, because we have to identify those adaptation strategies, and we see the implications on that. The study area, basically, it is among the pastoral communities in southern Ethiopia, the southern Ethiopia rangeland, the Borana pastoral area, which is actually the Borana live in both in North Kenya and southern Ethiopia. It is like a very vast area, maybe around 9 to 10% of the country's land mass. So, well, the whole big chunk of my work, I think starting from November, December, was the data generation in the field, which actually included household surveys, even interviews of different sorts. And I interviewed 281 households in different grazing territories. Those grazing territories are actually, the sampling was based on different grazing territories, especially traditional grazing territories, based on some of the, because within the rangelands itself, there are differences in in ecological, differences in range ecologies. So I try to capture pastoralists in different range ecologies. Some of my sites, for example, could be even up to 200 kilometers, 150 apart. So my survey actually included also repeated enumeration, where we went every week to generate the data, because sometimes it is for the accuracy and also even to build some confidence. Pastoral societies are conservative. One of the very important things we have to see is pastoral societies are quite conservative. And what I'm trying to show today is even how the changing conditions are actually trying to change their behavior from conservative to even some adaptation strategies which they have never